Welcome back. Just Chili Davis, and I'm back to another video. I'd like to welcome back all my subscribers, all my new viewers. This is the channel where I talk about my top stocks and I talk about crypto from time to time. If you're new, please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell to get my frequent updates. Well, today there was really good hot stocks in the market again. In my portfolio, Tesla was the top earner. Uh, Tesla shares rebounded 3.56% on the day. Ford shares continued to rally. This is probably the third day in a row. They're up 4.94% on the day. And SoFi, another small cap stock, up 3.25%. And Okta, the authentication software company, was up 3%. But today pretty much was Tesla's rebound after yesterday's fall. The investors event was canceled or delayed yesterday. It was supposed to be in August. And so yesterday, Tesla shares fell 8.5%. And that was on the news that the August 8th event was delayed till October. So that's what happened yesterday. But today, Tesla shares did rebound pretty sweetly. But just look at Ford. Ford shares did yesterday rally up 2.28%. So not only did I earn $40 today, earned $60 on Ford shares, as again, SoFi rallied yesterday 3%. But big news today was uh, uh, Tesla did rebound back 2.22% on the news that, hey, even though they're not going to make the announcement next month, they will have it in October. So again, next week, they still, well, not next week, but the following week, Tesla will have earnings call as normal. And so today the shares rebounded 2.2% on the day. All right, so let's go over look at the news real quick. Okay, so we are on CNBC for business and stock news. Uh, Today, the consumer price index was out, so the numbers look good there. Also, bank earnings are coming up. I think Wells Fargo reported today. And then here it is. Jamie Dimon warns inflation interest rates may stay high. Okay, so this is the cautionary CEO of Jamie Dimon here. It's saying here deflation breakdown for June 24. So the consumer price index numbers were released today. And AT&T has a massive data breach, and the crisis deepens with Snowflake weeks after hack was disclosed. So they basically got a whole bunch of phone numbers. Not sure if they got any PII, personal identification information. But that is the big news. AT&T shares fell today, as well as Snowflake, one of the big time cloud players. All right, and some good news. Dow rises more than 200 points, touches records above 40,000. So not only are we having record highs on the S&P and the NASDAQ, we are having record highs on the Dow Jones index. So it was actually a yearly target for the S&P to hit 5,000, but it's actually hit it mid-year. Okay, so that's good news there. The market is outperforming what conservative analysts thought, that the index would reach a little over 5,500 points at the end of 2024. And here we are in June, July time period. We've already hit that. But overall today, the index was up. So if you had any of the top 500 companies, on average of that index was up 0.55. and NASDAQ was up 2.63, and the Russell 2000s, which encompasses small cap stocks, was up 1% on the day, so that was good news. So that's the big overview. Again, Dow rises more than 200 points, touches new record at 40,000 points. Now, next week is earnings call. Today, I think we had Wells Fargo, and then I think Tuesday or Wednesday next week we have JP Morgan will report. Okay, so let's go over to Earnings Whisper. Okay, as I said, we're on earningswhisper.com, and this is essentially is where they list the earnings call and which comes to report on which day of the week. They also give some tips about each company, some highlight notes. But as I said, Wells Fargo reported today. Bank of America reports on the 16th. So I think that's Tuesday. Let's see. Yeah, so Bank of America, one of the banks, will report on Tuesday, July 16th. Also, Goldman Sachs will report on Monday. Now, it's not a necessary consumer bank, but Goldman Sachs deals with investment banking. Will report on Monday at 7:30, and that's the odd thing. The banks actually report early in the day. They report first thing in the morning. Shows here Goldman Sachs reports Monday at 7:30 Eastern. Bank of America, I believe, reports at 8:30. Okay, so again, reports early. Bank of America will report July 16th, Tuesday at I think it's 6:45 a.m. And so that will give us a good idea about the stock market for the quarter through the financials. Now, following week, we will have Tesla and Netflix of the like will report as well. Also, we have Taiwan Semiconductor. So this is the actual company that produces chips, while NVIDIA designs the chips. The actual implementation of the chip is done by Taiwan Semiconductors. So this is part of the AI logistical chains. They will report on the 18th. So that will be Thursday. And then as the week starts to end, we got Netflix. The following week, we have Tesla the 23rd, and I think Facebook the following week after that. Okay, so we got next week pretty much the banks, Goldman Sachs and Bank of America. And then we have Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's see. Okay, and then Chipotle the following week. Okay, so the banks next week, the chip company, the logistical part of the AI race in terms of the actual chip is produced by Taiwan Semiconductor, ticker symbol TSM, and we'll take a quick look at their ticker symbol here on the Robinhood. Okay, here is the ticker symbol TSM. Taiwan Semiconductor, as I mentioned, will report next week. The earnings call is where the companies which are publicly traded report how much revenue they did for the last 3 months. Okay, so that's what we're getting. If they did 5 billion, 10 billion, or 15 billion, and then based off of that, did they surpass Wall Street expectations, or did they uh miss Wall Street expectations? Okay, the main objective for the companies, if the company predicted to do 15 billion, you want the company to do 16 billion. So again, Taiwan Semiconductors have been one of the hottest companies over the last year since they actually helped implement the chip. They produced the chip that NVIDIA designs. Okay, NVIDIA designs the chip on paper, and then it is actually implemented and designed over in Taiwan. Okay. Now, over the last year, if we look at the company, the stock is up 82%. Okay, so as the demand for the artificial chips have increased, Taiwan Semiconductor is up 82% since July of 2023. Okay, so that's news. Again, I did purchase a small position in Taiwan Semiconductor. And as you can see, over the last 5 years, Taiwan Semiconductor is up quite a bit, 375%. So you might want to look at this company. Again, we don't know if the company will fall after earnings or the company will increase in value. But either way, you can always dollar cost average because the stock will hit some high points, it'll hit some low points, and again, it'll hit some high points. But preferably, you want to be down here where it's only up, 50%. You don't want to always have to wait like here where it's already up 300 something percent. Okay. But I just purchased some about a week ago. Okay. So that's the news there. Taiwan Semiconductor will report next week. And on the day, they are up slightly 1.57%. Now, overall, in my Robinhood today, I was up 1%, a good sign, up for $36 overall. And again, we know one of the hottest stocks was Tesla. Again, Tesla was up pretty much across the uh, stock market after yesterday being down 8%. Let's see, Apple shares were up slightly 1.26%. And remember, guys, if you hold a full position in a stock like I do, I'll hold over $10,000 in Tesla. When you make 1-2%, that's a good $100 in addition to your portfolio. Okay, so there's several other stocks that are up 3%, 4%, but it's always up to the individual investor how much they went back on that. If you invest in Tesla like I have, you can earn anywhere from $100 to $200 or $1,000 in some cases when that stock shoots up. All right, so that's just a tip there. Position can be $100. A position could be 5,000. A full position is $10,000 to invest in a stock. Again, you can invest either way. I just chose to invest more of my money in Nvidia and stocks of the like. Okay, that's the Mag 7. That's Tesla, Apple, Nvidia. You know, those companies you want to take a closer look at and increase your position in those stocks over time. So finally, we'll go over to my other portfolio. And as I mentioned, I have a full position in Tesla, a little over $10,000. As you can see, I have a little bit over 11,000. So when it goes up, I make quite a bit of money. Tesla, again, for the day is up over 3% for a gain of $300. And that's just because I have a large position in it. But right behind it was Ford Motor Company up 4% for a gain of $112. Now, Ford shares roughly trade at $14. We've seen Ford shares be as high as $20 a share. So I've been steadily building my position in Ford. Okay. So that's one of the benefits over time. You can accumulate shares. But the share price on Ford shares were trading about $10. I think on average, I accumulated these shares at about $11. Not that great. I'm looking for the long term. Okay. But on the day, gained a little 4% for a gain of $112. SoFi, again, shares up. As I mentioned, some of the small cap stocks, they do report on July 30th, somewhere around there, July 31st. They will report earnings as well. So continue to check out Earnings Whisper if you want to know which companies do good for the quarter. Also, Okta, they were up 2%, and Apple shares were up 1%, and Nvidia, the juggernaut, was up 1.96%, and it's still trading somewhere, looks like around $129. Not that bad. But again, Nvidia having a lot of momentum. As I mentioned, Taiwan Semiconductor could be a place where you invest in as well. As you can see from my gains, up 933%. That's based on a 2-year history that I've been involved with NVIDIA. Okay, so again, NVIDIA shares continue to surge even after the split. Today, up slightly 1.96% on the day. So, well, also I wanted to mention Palantir Technology. It surged as past as 27. It was $25 last week. But again, Palantir Technologies continues to rally today, up 1.8%. And lastly, let's take a quick look at the losers. Microsoft shares were down slightly, 0.36. Delta Air shares, after posting earnings yesterday, showing certain declines and a poor guidance, shares are still down today, 3%. ConocoPhillips slightly down. The energy stock, Advanced Micro Devices, okay, they're slightly, well, I guess it's after hours, but slightly down as well. Still up quite a bit for me. I'm up 200 and something percent. But again, they are in the AI race, and Amazon shares slightly down today, 0.27%. Now, the news there is the former CEO, Jeff Bezos, is selling $5 billion of shares, and I think it's a total of $13 billion of shares. Nothing wrong with the business model. Nothing wrong with Amazon. He's just taking a little off the top as a retired former owner of the company. Okay. Well, he's moved on to bigger things, and he's taken his position. He's selling millions and millions of shares, over $5 billion worth. But again, nothing wrong with Amazon. It may be a great time to add to your current position in Amazon. Okay, so Jeff Bezos selling it just a little bit, $5 billion, and I think he's going to sell a total of $13 billion. Okay, so if you're interested, today would have been a great time to take advantage of Microsoft being down, Amazon shares being down, and AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices. Some other honorable mentions there. You see JP Morgan was down slightly today as well. All right, so that is pretty much the news again today. Tesla bouncing back up 2.99%, and Ford Motor shares